Kia ora, good evening, welcome, beautiful world. How are you, how are you, how are you? I just wanna smile and laugh. I'm just going to share the live. And my full devoted attention can be with you, with us, in this space. Just one moment, please. I really feel like I'm about to sneeze. Okay, one share done, one more to go. If you are joining me, say kia ora, say hello. I would love to know that you're here. My name is Madeline Lee. I am from Ride Your Stigma. If you are new to our beautiful space and community, I am an intuitive healer, mindset mentor, hobbies advocate, expressive emotive dance coach, if you want to call it as such. Wanted to come and have a bit of a kōrero on some thoughts and feelings and beliefs that have been coming through me today, as well as we will pull some collective messages, and if anyone would like an individual intuitive message, card, oracle, and anything else that comes through as well, please let me know. Give me a yes please in the comments. I think we've shared now. I think we're good to go. So if it is your first time joining us on live today, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are familiar to this beautiful space and me and my world and me and my tribe and all that we're about, I welcome you back, and I am very glad that you are here with us. When I come live stream, I like to put a caption to pull me back into the intention of the space that I have come to the surface to the live stream to speak about at that point in time, and whatever is coming up for me, as I do trust the intuitive flow, and sometimes the channel and the rumble and the roll just goes and flows from me while we talk. So feel free to comment away and share anything that is coming up for yourself, anything that resonates or doesn't resonate. I welcome you to come and open Sharely in a space of growth, sharing, learning, listening together. I would love to know where you are coming in from around the world as well. There is so much to say, and all of it cannot come out of my mouth all at once. Sometimes when I sit here and I pause, guys, it's like, why? How can I get it all out? Kia ora, Kimberly. Kimberly says, hi, beautiful. Hope you're well. First time I've seen you live. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am really well, Kimberly. Thank you so much. And welcome into this space. Whereabouts in the world are you coming in from? I have a feeling you are a Kiwi, or you live in Kiwi land, if I am correct. Feel welcome to share where you are coming in from, how you are feeling today. So what do we name? What was our label of our live stream today, guys? I am spiritual as fuck, and it's my way of life that I once never knew existed. I just need to read that again a few times. I am spiritual as fuck, and it is and it's my way of life that I once never knew existed. I am spiritual as fuck, and it's my life and my way of life that I once never knew existed. So I wanted to kind of share today because I've had a lot of messages, life occurrences, conversations, interactions with many different people this week, like we do in our general daily day-to-day life, that have just made it come to the surface for me again, realizing that my way of life is really, really different to the mainstream person. now, and I never intended it to be that way. I trusted and I surrendered. Sometimes I argued with my path and spirituality, and sometimes I had a bit of a confrontation with it as well. But I just feel like the conversations that I've been having with people this week have been conversations around, or topics, or just points, or realization, or light bulb, or candlelight moments, where I realized, shit, what I live every day was something I never even knew existed in my life when I was in my unconscious self. So today, when I'm referring to my unconscious self, I am not shaming the other parts of myself, the different versions, the different phases of my life and my journey, and who I am, who I was, who I will always be. So our past parts, or unconscious, I'm not, it's not in a shaming way, so I don't know why or who I'm speaking to there, but something's telling me to share that when I refer to my unconscious self, or when I was in my unconscious self, there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing negative about that. It was just the fact of the consciousness of where I am at that phase and time of my journey in my life. And I know that you can relate that to yourself as well, wherever you are in your consciousness, your unconsciousness, your consciousness, your awokeness, or your, I want to almost say naive, is there a word, naivety? Like being naive, but naivety, I don't know where that came from, or even if that's a word. But I just want to say that what's been suffering what's been surfing under the surface this week is some really, really, really simple, plain conversations that have made me go, holy shit. I had someone ask me, like, how do you journal? And I inside was like, oh, and I laughed at myself. So when I was laughing then as well, something else tells me I wasn't laughing at the person asking me that. What I was laughing at was laughing at the parts of myself that once was asking those questions, that what the hell? People talk about journaling and affirmations and meditation. What even is that? I've never done that. What is it? And I think back to that, those versions or parts of myself, my unconscious self, or I could even call her if we wanted to label it. And I don't like labels, but also I love labels in the sense they help us to understand. And the other label that's kind of coming up to that older version or different part of myself that feels like it wasn't even in this reality lifetime. So I'm talking 3 to 4 years ago now is what I'm talking about. 3 to 4 years ago in this lifetime, in this reality. But as I think about it, I'm like, was that even real? Was I even there? Who was that? Was I completely a different person? But I never was. I was always there. My soul was there. But there was so much jargon and so much programming and so much overlay and so much... so many shizzles all over the top of actually who I was, because I wasn't in my full alignment of who I was and am and are these days. I can see you guys commenting. I'm just going to keep talking and I'll come back to them, but keep sharing. If you've got things coming up of your own, please share, because the power of sharing in comment boxes or writing down or going, oh my god, shit, yeah, I relate to that in myself, or this or that, or I don't know what that means. There is real big power. So share with me if you feel called to it. So yeah, someone asked me, well, Maddie, but what's journaling? And someone else different told me this week, well, what's a meditation? I don't know what a meditation is. And some things have just been hitting me in the face, that when I did do a live stream a little while ago about everyone's normalities are different, and of course we all have different religions, belief systems, different upbringings, diversity, such a wide range of what we believe, or what's been programmed into us, what we've been exposed to in our childhood and different past lives, in our teenhood and our adulthood, and what we've gone through in our jobs, our career paths, our living situations, and all the things that go on in our life. that they all compilate, you know, the trauma, the abuse, the self-abuse, the self-doubt, the self-worth, the self-work we do in ourselves, or the avoidance and the push away and the neglect, all those emotions, all those things, they all build. So bringing myself back again, and this is why I bring myself back and put a label on my live stream, because there is golden nuggets in all of it. There's beautiful streams of rainbows and delicious things and everything that we say intuitively and just talk. And I think that's why I love live streaming so much, putting that label and then just actually allowing it to just rattle off, just let it come out and just go down those rabbit holes, because there is beauty in them. So coming back, I am spiritual as fuck, and it's my way of life that I once never knew existed. So I look back to 4 years ago, and the person I was then. I even look at photos or I feel into, you know, how we have memories in our mind, and sometimes we sit here and we're reminiscing, and now I'm like, Maddie, do you really know what the meaning of reminiscing is? So I'm questioning. So we're in our mind, in our thoughts, in our feelings, and we're going back to that place that was in the near past, you know, like a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and it's so far away, but it's also so close all at once. And I'm sitting here thinking about that when I just was mundane, just working as a nurse in the hospital every day, waking up scared that I wouldn't be good enough and didn't have enough knowledge, and what if a baby dies on my shift, and no one really loves me, and there's no male in the world that would ever love me, and my family don't love me, and what's the point, and drink alcohol over and over and over again, and go party and dance, and then nurse, and then overwork, and I'm not working enough, and why haven't I got enough money? And that was the person that I was so deeply, and not even aware of it either. When I'm saying that, it's like I'm aware of that now, but back then I had no conscious awareness, no awareness at all of that's who I had become, that's who I had learned to be through my upbringings, through my life experiences. But it was so almost like cliche mainstream of we've learned off each other in our society, and our mainstream society as a core. Of course, it's transformed and moved and shaped a lot with what we've been through over the last few years in the world, and all the things, the spiritual wars and the you know what, and all the things in the world over the last couple of years. It's really started to shape and change in different ways, and some quite messed up ways as well, and then some quite beautiful ways as well. But I look back to that part of myself, and the way that I was programmed, in the way that I had learned to be in my life unknowingly. I had no idea that learning how to be in a certain way of life was a thing. I was just like, no, this just is the way it is. You know, when you see yourself or you see someone else and they're walking around living their life and they don't question a motherfucking thing. There's a lot of people out there that still don't. Generally, if you're on this live stream, that's not going to be you, because you wouldn't be in this space. It wouldn't call you here. But you know, when you see certain people in the world out there that are just walking around, just make my breakfast and go to work and go home and pay that bill and blah, 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 just repetitive, almost like robotic self, if that makes sense, and no awareness to question anything, or to question that there is more freedom out there, that there is more life, that there is more deeper connection in self, that there is. And I think as I say this, I'm like, yeah, that was me before I ever realized, when I used to nurse. And I honestly, so coming back, the programming or the way of life that I had learned to live in, or be, or continue to create, but could I even call that creation? As I said that, I was like, I didn't create anything. I listened to everything that society told me to do. I listened to everyone else. I did not listen to myself. Of course, I've always loved caring for others. I've always been a caring nature and want to love and nourish others and look after people and help them to be the best versions of themselves, and love and help people that need support and all of those things. Maybe that's why I ended up in nursing, and I believe every step, I cherish my nursing days in their own way, because they guided me here. They gave me so many gifts and different aspects to me. But I look back at that and I just think I just went to nursing school in a sense of not just because there was elements to it that I needed to learn, that I was meant to be there, and connections and so much that I gained, but at the same time there's a part of my mind or a part of my soul or in my imprinting that goes, so you looked around and you hated school. So I hated school and I was not good at school. I was shit. I was failing I remember mum and dad giving me a little laptop bribe or something to finish level 1 NCA because I hated it. I was naughty. I didn't connect with it. I couldn't learn that way, and I just hated it. I hated it altogether. It made me really unhappy. I felt a lot of shame even going to school, which I think is, to be honest, quite a human experience. I feel like most of us as teens and things, we do go through some of our, not everyone does, we're all different, but we do go through some sort of shame or embarrassment and stigma and hard times and challenging times as being young people and teens. Fuck, teenhood is hard. And I was at the school that I didn't like, and then I wanted to leave, and then mum and dad tried to encourage me to do the right thing of like stay at school, get a career, and went off to nanny school, blah blah blah, all those things. But even nursing and all of those things, I was doing all these things that someone told me to do. And when I say someone, I'm not saying a specific person. I'm saying someone, as in society, as in our conditioning, has told me this is the thing you do. This is the right thing to do. You get a career path, you get a qualification, and you go work in a job, and then you're successful. Great, you did the right thing. And are you even motherfucking happy? Any of this time, have you been doing anything that actually lights up your soul, that actually aligns? And then I've got this voice in my head of like, so when I talk, guys, there's like a channel, and then there's like the other thoughts of like what, but the comeback almost, and the comeback is like almost like it's almost like, yeah, but Maddie, who says the soul is like soul and spiritual work is right either? And it's like, yeah, well, if it's not right for you, it's not. But you wouldn't be here with me, would you? You wouldn't be here connecting with this at this time. And then I actually watched with my partner last night. I've never watched it. I think it's like a cartoon thing. It's called I Am Giant, and there's a big iron metal man. It's quite old, and there's a little boy that finds this giant metal man, and the metal man comes alive. I think there's like, he gets electric shock and he comes alive and his eyes light up and he plays with the little boy, and it's a kid's movie, and I can't remember the exact words, but in the movie last night, I think the Iron Man was kind of like dying. Something happened, and the young boy said something like, but what's going to happen to you now? What's going to happen to you now? Something to the effect. And then he said, because you have a soul. He said something like, you have a soul because you have feelings and you understand me and you have thoughts. And then they talked about a soul never dies. A soul does not die. It always lives on and on and on. So, and it shifted me and something landed in me. I was like, oh, a soul never dies. It just moves on, like it just lives on and on and on and on and on. And because we have feelings and thoughts, and he understands me, and there's a connection, there was communication. And I just went, oh my God. And in my head it's going, how can anyone believe that our soul doesn't exist? I was like, if you can tell me that you don't believe that your soul exists, I feel like you're lying to me. Or you're really choosing to be unconscious. That's a choice. That's a conscious choice of not wanting to be aware of that. If we have these feelings and these emotions, and we could get really deep on like trying to tune into your intuition more, that gut feeling, your soul alignment, your soul knowing and alignment within you, like the feeling, you know, when you really feel something. So you can make it something as basic and mainstream as, so when you have that heart-wrenching or like heart-sinking emotion or feeling when something not so good happens, or when you have, it's not as common, like I feel like humans definitely sway towards the more negative things when something bad happens. So when you get that really bad, like, oh my God, no, something's wrong, and then you're right, maybe you didn't label or say and describe every detail of something that was going on that was wrong or went wrong or was not good or bad or negative. but you were onto something because your intuition, that's your intuition. And so we could get really deep on trying to strengthen and understand and tap into that intuition. So I'm going to come back because I do want to read some cards and messages, and I want to go through your guys' messages today. But I want to come back one more time just to come into the I am spiritual as fuck, and I never knew that it even existed. So I want to say that there's messages today. Take what comes for you today when I'm talking, when you're listening. Write down whatever comes up. Write it in the comment box or write it on a piece of paper. Pause and go back and forth when I put the replay up. And really tune into about opportunities of life, like really opening your consciousness and your mind to really asking questions like, where do you feel aligned? And then you could go really deep and go, well, what does aligned mean, Maddie? So where do you feel most truly properly happy, and not even happy, like at home or safe or real? And then it can get quite deep and confusing again, so I'm going to go there in the sense of we can feel crazy with spirituality. I had a beautiful psychic reading with a lovely client the other day, and she even said she was shifting through some stuff. She knows she's always been intuitive, she knows she's always had a beautiful connection to spirit, but she hasn't quite understood it. And the people around her, all she's thought is that I can't speak to them about it, I seem crazy, I appear crazy, and this, that, and the other. And sometimes I even still catch my words, not so much my energy, my vibration, or my belief system inside, but my words that come out of my mouth when I say things. I will almost judge myself or choose to sometimes not share, because I'm like, oh, well, you're so woo-woo, Maddie, or you're so crazy, or you're so spiritual. Yeah, I am spiritual. I'm spiritual as fuck, but we all are spiritual as fuck. It's just whether or not that you let it come out, or that you choose to invest time into understanding, connecting, opening your spirit, your soul, your alignment, the feeling. And a lot of spirituality is about feeling, and that's something that I didn't learn for a very long time, that spirituality is feeling. Like our emotions when we are feeling are connected to our energy, and our energy is connected to our soul and our path. And it's like, so I want you to step out. I want you to step out of just whatever little boxes are around you at the moment. And I'm not asking you to, in a sense, just get up and be spiritual like me and do the things I do. That's not what I want it to be shared like today. What I want it to be shared like is, if there is something that has been calling you, whether it's spirituality, something else, another religion, different belief system, some other energy type work, whatever it is, I want to ask you and invite you to really question what you're doing in your life in a positive way, in a constructive way at the moment. And I want you to choose to step forward into that space of trying it with an open mind, because I think about before I ever stepped into self-development, when I had my crunch and my burn and my crash and my burn and my death, my biggest death I've ever had, when I was diagnosed with my genital herpes and I had nothing left. I had totally given up on life. There was nothing left. It was fucking over. It was fucking over. There was nothing left in me. And that gift was totally sent here for me. Not to me, for me. So deeply, and I'm so grateful for that. Now, I would never, even if they released a 100% cure for herpes, I wouldn't take it. I don't need it. Herpes does not impact my life physically anymore. It does not impact me in my mindset anymore. It does not impact my emotions in a bad way. Yes, it impacts my emotions when I get messages in my DMs about, Maddie, I've just been diagnosed with herpes and I don't know what to do. Help me. Yes, I shed tears there. But I shed tears there because it is so emotional that I feel for the person that's going through it. And I know that they can get through it in a different way. Anyway, we're going on a rabbit hole again. So beautiful, so divine. But till that moment of when I deathed and rebirthed through my herpes diagnosis, to come into this space of consciousness, to do this work for myself, to do this healing and this elevation and this upward spiral through spirituality, through natural healing, through energy healing, through intuitive healing. At that point in time, I still had no idea I still had no idea. I was still really unconscious and unaware, but there was a little part in my soul, a little part in my programming, a little bit of questioning and breaking the barriers of choosing, okay, well, there's nothing left, so I'll fucking try it. What can I lose? Okay, fine. I'll try it, and gave it a chance, and just stepped and see. It's even like, what? You stepped into it? That's why I'm stuttering right now. So if you haven't spent time with me, sometimes it'll happen, because it's like energetically, I hesitated still when I chose to step into my spirituality, because I was scared, and because I had been programmed that spirituality is scary and it's not so good, and we have to do all the other things. You have to get a job, and you can't make a job doing spirituality, and you can't do this. You can't heal your body by doing meditation. You need a medication. And all of those things. I chose to step and surrender, even though I felt fear, even though I felt doubt, don't knownness, unknowingness. I didn't fucking know some of the time, but I chose, well, I'm going to try it. Well, okay, I don't know, but I'm going to do it. I don't care. And then choosing to step into it. Best fucking thing I've ever done in my life. And I preach this from my own heart, from my own soul, from my own space, because yes, it doesn't mean it's rock easy. I don't know where rock easy came from. It's almost like, when we go, I just went through the hugest purge about a week and a half ago. Huge, horrible, disgusting, yuck, really horrible, trapful, angerful purge like a week and a half ago. It was horrendous. I tell you now, it was horrible. But I knew that it was a purge. It was a spiritual purge. It was a release. And when we practice and we what's the word? Cradle, comfort, and support and hold safety and space of our spirituality. When we find a tribe and a space, talking about that, we're about to launch the Vibe Tribe membership community for Ride Your Stigma. So stay tuned. If you need on your journey, if that is calling you to step into your spirituality, and you need a comfort, spiritual, supportive space where you're really held, where you're really not judged, when you are just acknowledged and accepted, and you can be free in your voice, being free and asking in your curiosity of what is going on for you. Because we do in spirituality have these, if you want to call them negative purges or dark purges or detoxes, and they do come out. We do need processing time, and we do need sleep time. And yes, we do need to scream and cry and yell and really let the shadows out. And you could involve it with your shadow work, because it is part of it. It isn't all flowers and roses and perfect rainbows when we go through our spiritual awakening. It isn't. It's a fact. You can try and lie or say that it is, and that's okay if that's your journey, but I do not believe that it's all spiritual and roses. Yes, it's fucking worth it. It's worth coming through the other side of it, and we do. We death and we birth, and we death and we birth, and we death and we birth through our spiritual awakenings and our spiritual elevations, up and down, and moving through it and moving through it and moving through it. So yes, we learn and we strengthen our skills over time. And like that week and a half ago, I was definitely dying. I was going through a death rebirth a week and a half ago. I was horrendous. I was slamming door. I was screaming. I was yelling. I was needed to go for an angry run. I was really had some negative energy flowing through me that wanted to purge out. I had to do an entity removal, like process, and a lot of shadow work and some inner child relationship building with my inner child. So I really spent a lot of time inwardly with some practices that I have learned in my safety of my spiritual path and my intuitive work and intuitive healing. But I knew the whole time I was in that purge, as much as the words that wanted to come out of my mouth. I had a conversation with one of my very close girlfriends on the phone where I was crying my eyes out. I was alone. I just don't want this anymore. Like, really dramatic. And I just said, I just don't fucking want it today. I wish it didn't choose me today. Really, really losing it. And she reminded me, and that's why you have soul family. She reminded me, Maddie, you're going to get through this. You've done it before. I know it's horrible. I know it's stuck. I know it's shit right now, but you've got it. So a little dip into the Vibe Tribe membership community is about to launch for Ride Your Stigma. It is going to be I'm still playing with some words, but soul family that rise together, soul family that elevate together. So it is going to be a beautiful membership, monthly membership community, $57 a month. And it's going to be a beautiful space if you are wanting to heal yourself or come into deeper touch and deeper alignment and deeper relationship with your intuitive and spiritual gifts. If you are wanting to or already have started opening a business of your own that involves some spirituality aspect or natural healing of some sort. So we're going to have lots of online guidance of online trainings of how to build your business, create some sales stuff, website stuff, apps, different things like that. We're also going to have psychic readings in there and some one-on-one support and some worksheets and PDFs and exercises and meditations and things in there that release each month. So it's going to be a month-to-month membership, $57 a month. I have put a cap on a minimum of signing on for 6 months as a minimum, because I am choosing to step into a space that if this is calling you are not that kind of person that just wants 1 month and then, oh, I'm going to cancel. That's not the kind of people. That's not for you if that's not what's calling you. If you are here for the long motherfucking run. Maybe you don't know all the ins and outs, but you do know that you want to be here and that you are here for something bigger than what society has just told you to just get a job, buy a house, get married, do all those things that everyone else does. You have something else really, really, really special inside you. Okay, I'm just going to check out your messages and then we will do some cards. So if you would like a intuitive message today, do put into the comments yes please. I was just trying to look for my pen just so we can write down your names. If you want to hear more or see the first launch, receive the link to the Vibe Tribe membership ASAP when we launch it, just give me a private message or put the Vibe Tribe in the comments and I will send you the link as soon as we launch. Okay, let me see your beautiful comments. Kimberly, coming from a little town in New Zealand. Waikato, lovely. I lived in Waikato when I was about 18, Kimberly, but I was a very different person then. Very, very interesting. No, the past versions of ourselves did the best which what they had and knew, and also the life lessons we have to go through to grow and evolve. So they were perfect. They definitely are. I love how you put that. That was really, really beautiful, Kimberly. I totally, totally agree. Shedding the old layers to realign with our true self. Yes, baby, yes. Kia ora, Alexandra. Lovely to have you here. Where are you coming in from around the world? Kimberly would love a card, please. Yes, let's put you on the list. We'll make a little list and step through it. And interesting enough, sitting here and I'm like, oh, it's Saturday night. It's Saturday night at 8:30 and all I want to do is connect with like-minded souls and catch me 5 years ago, I was probably drunk on the floor somewhere. As we grow and we elevate. Alexandra, the same thing for me. I had nothing left and spiritually was always with me, sometimes the only thing. That's so beautiful, Alexandra. So beautiful and so heart-wrenching at the same time, isn't it? And then at the same time it's like so badass and so magical to think. It's just so amazing how we come through it, how it makes us flourish and come all the way through. Would love to hear more about your journey. Sounds like you've had a beautiful one. Okay. Oh, go back. Just going through the other ones. Alexandra. Yes, please. I would love an intuitive message, hon. Yes, you're welcome. Let me just write you down. We'll almost get to that. I feel like we'll just scroll through a few more of these comments and then let's tune in. Kimberly, yes, please, and thank you. Yes, beautiful. Melbourne, yes, baby, just over the ditch. I am in Auckland, New Zealand, well, Whangaparoa in the Hibiscus Coast, which I'm actually really, really enjoying. really enjoying. I haven't found as many spiritual soul tribe in-person people as I would dream yet that they are coming. I held my first intuitive women's circle in person 2 weeks ago now, and had some fabulous, beautiful ladies that came and joined us, which was just absolutely so powerful, so potent, so beautiful. So feeling very lucky and very, very grateful for that beautiful space. So this deck, I don't think I've even done a live stream with this beautiful deck yet. So this one here, absolutely amazing. Ocean Dreams, a Mystic Oracle by Danielle Knoll. They are just divine. I could honestly just stare at them all day and just soak up their magic, just step into it. Some of them are wanting to flip. Oh, they're these ones. Just the little water message. Okay, already what's come out for you today, Kimberly? The ibis. I don't know if you said this ibis or not, or abis. Abis, 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 abis. So Kimberly, straight away then, I didn't even want to talk. It wasn't that I didn't want to even talk, but it's like the message is like, it's almost like, it's like, and then all I want to do is laugh. Where is the laughter coming from? Who is laughing? Kimberly, there's like, it's like I'm laughing, but I want to smile almost like a clown, like I can't smile, but my mouth is watering. Something to do with my mouth watering. I don't know if it's like your laugh. Are you salivating about something? Is there something that you're really dreaming and desiring for? But when I first turned that card over, it was almost like, not telling me to be silent, but it was like the feeling that, okay, so I can feel this. I don't know if you feel this, but as soon as I turn that card over, it's almost like, you know, that eerie feeling under the water, like, yeah, duh, Maddie. Duh, that's what it looks like. That's what I can hear. But it's like, there's like a gap, but it's not a gap in like a gap of emptiness. Of course it is, but it's like a gap of silence, but it's almost like the silence has a language of its own. So I don't know if there is a certain, and then it's almost like a modality, or maybe not is modality even the word, Kimberly, but it's almost like there's a phase or a part or an area or I don't even know what a trinket is. Something just told me to say a trinket. I don't know what a trinket is. Is a trinket like a, yeah, but almost like an area or a piece of your life, but it's almost like there's space and there's gap and there's silence, but really underneath it there's so much conversation, there's so much creation, there is so much language going on, and there's a real deepness to it. And it's almost like keep trusting that and keep holding that. It's like, because it even wants to keep holding that, like, don't talk, Maddie, just shh. Shh. But there's magic in the language that's unknown or that's unseen at the moment. It's like, hold that feeling. It seems really simple today. It's like there's not any complex messages or anything, Kimberly. It's like, hold that feeling. How powerful can just one whole picture be? Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, just hold that, and I just want to like push it in your face. Hold that, hold that, hold that feeling. The feeling that I feel when I see this visual picture. There was another one that fell out with that as well, Kimberly. Temple of Dreams. So Temple of Dreams. Hold that into a Temple of Dreams. So whatever that silence or that unknown or that silence gap conversation, it's like that is the path, that is the movement, that is the next step into your dreams, into your dreams, into your dreams, into your dreams. I'm just going to read this second one, Kimberly, from the book for you, darling. If you are joining us, say kia ora, say hello, hi to everyone that is new in this space. Let us know where you are coming in from around the world. I see that there's a few of you commenting. Temple of Dreams, 156. Okay, Kimberly. Temple of Dreams, temptations, options, opportunities, illusion, all that glitters is not gold. I seek the gifts that most align. I reclaim balance through my choices. I devote my heart to my highest good. This luminous temple exists at the cusp of our reality, opening new portals to the unseen. Within its walls are many great rooms filled with beautiful gifts and invitations to new timelines, as well as attractive illusions and dreamy temptations. While it may seem to be an extraordinary place, being faced with too many options can cause you to second guess what is most vital at this time. You might be worried that once you commit to one choice, you will not be able to refuse the consequences of reviews of your decision. On the surface, many of these options may seem alluring, but when you visualize their outcomes, the dreamy facade fades. This may come as a sign of wishful thinking or moments in which you project into the future without thinking about the actions or energy that may be involved in their longevity. It is wise to avoid that which is empty to true value. Transmission illumination question: do I need to gather more information before making a particular decision? Sometimes less is more, and the simplest route will be the one that best serves you. If you are suddenly faced with multiple choices or a complex decision to make, measure your options from a deeper place of spirit. If you focus on the route that best serves your heart, rather than what may seem seductive or popular, it will blossom in return. Gauge how each outcome feels and go with the option that feels most sustainable. Navigate your path from the fullness of your spirit, and you may come across entirely new dimensions that were previously obscured. Trust the subtle whispers. Which doorway will you choose? Here you go, Kimberly. I hope something there lands and supports you at the moment, beautiful human. Thank you for joining us today. In the silence, I'm just going to read this. Kimberly says, in the silence, I will be able to hear and connect with my true self, my intuition, rather than being in the busyness the mind, something I'm working on. Beautiful. Amberly, kia ora. Could you please have a card? I have a couple more before you, Amberly, but if we have time, definitely, darling. Where are you coming in from around the world? Kimberly says, yes, it's like jumping out, look at it and listen, be quiet. Observation, baby. Observation. The power of silence is underestimated sometimes. Amber Lee, I'm from Te Puke, New Zealand. Beautiful. Whereabouts is Te Puke? I'm trying to remember. Is it Waikato Way? Waikato Way? I might be wrong. Kimberly says thank you. You are so welcome, beautiful soul. So welcome. I did not get my water bottle. Just gonna have some water, and then Alexandra, if you are still here, we will pull some beautiful messages for you. Okay. Alexandra. And then who do we have? Alexandra, Amber Lee. Let's see. Yay, still here. Incredibly grateful. You are so welcome, Alexandra. Okay. Just tune in for a moment. My left hand suddenly feels really lazy, Alexandra. Really lazy. Is there some unconscious lazy? I don't know where that just came from. Can someone please just block this scammer? Do not reply to that person, guys. Just let me block them. One moment, please. Scammers. Ban. Yes. Confirm. Okay, we should be back on space. There we go. I think I've done it right, hopefully. Okay, beautiful Alexandra. So it's either lazy hand or relaxed hand, Alexandra. Like my left hand doesn't want to shuffle. It doesn't really even have to. It doesn't really feel like stress exactly. Inner strength. As it pops out. So what's my hands like? Limp? Is limp the word? No. Relaxed lazy? Or maybe it's not lazy. It depends what your definition of lazy is. Sometimes I say I have a lazy bad day, but it's actually a relaxed day, and it's not like a negative, you know, like, because we sometimes have a negative perception on what laziness really means for us, if that makes sense. Earth orders. So inner strength, it's almost like you've just come out of something that you've really, really needed, really, like, it's like courage, but it's almost like, I feel like you already had a mastery of it, even though maybe something that you've just come through, or that you're coming through or moving through, it's almost like the bulk of people, or the bulk of lives, or the bulk of souls that would have gone through these things would have found it really challenging and needing a lot of courage and a lot of bravery and a lot of support, or it would have been a lot more traumatic or deep, or but then at the same time the voice is like, no, it's not that it wasn't deep for you, but it's almost like the inner strength of yours has become really natural. Doesn't mean it's no harder or more easier, but it's almost like this message kind of just wants to send like a gratitude or a praise or a proudness to yourself, in the sense of, I think you already know it. Isn't that ironic? but your inner strength is unwavering. It's absolutely really, 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 really incredible. And maybe you don't give yourself enough love for that, or maybe it's not that there's not enough, but maybe you could pour more into really praising yourself in a loving way, of that you're fucking boss ass, that this thing that you've just moved through, this inner strength. And maybe that's where like the lazy relax flop hand, it's almost like surrender to that thing that you've been moving through so deeply, and the things that we move through in a sense of like you're surrendering, and then there's a voice like, well, I've got no fucking choice. That's what I'm hearing. Well, there's no fucking choice. Anyway, I'm just going to check your comments just in case there's anything important there. Lol. Yep. I've just come through something. Yeah. Lol. Yes. No. ... I do know I'm so strong as fuck. The strongest person I know. Just gonna sit with that today, Alexandra. Just want you to slow down with that and just, I don't know why fester is not the word, because fester is, no, it's not the word. Soak. Ruminate. I don't know the definition of ruminate very deeply, but I don't know. I do know. I do know I'm so strong as fuck. The strongest person I know. Just want to slow down and just sit with that. It's almost like the message is just like, actually, can you just sit with that? Even write that on the top of your notepad or your book or on a scrap piece of paper. Just write those words down and just sit. Sit with that and ground into that and move into that. Your second card today, Alexandra. Earth Waters. Tattoo it on my head, on my forehead. Yeah. Yep. And then all I could hear was, yeah, energetically tattoo it all over you. Energetically build it into the knowing of who you are. Because we are human, we are all human, and we still have those moments of, we all have self-doubt, we all have fear, we all feel real emotions or hopelessness at times, regardless of how strong we are, regardless of how much practice and how much healing and how much strength and how much growth and expansion and elevation we have done in this lifetime and others. So the message of your second card, Alexandra, Earth Waters. Spiritual grounding, energetic vortices. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Miraculous waters, stargates. I am grounded, I am whole. I connect with medicine of the earth to clear and charge my energy. The potent energy and magic of water isn't limited to the oceans. This power also flows through lakes, springs, rivers, wells, grottos, and endless veins and subterranean chambers of the earth. Nestled below the mantle of 700 kilometers underground, an inner ocean that is 3 times the volume of those on the surface also exists. Swirling, rising, bursting, and colliding, the earth waters are connected through an infinite flow of exchanged frequencies. As all water moves through an endless cycle of regeneration and purification, it is said to contain the energetic imprints of all preceding ages. As a sacred timekeeper and conduit of ancient wisdom. In some locations, water collects and moves at specific ley lines and geological formations that are concentrated with mysterious powers. Many of these places have become known for miraculous healing and miracles. It is not uncommon to find sacred sites and temples of worship built at their thresholds. For thousands of years, these have been destinations of sacred pilgrimages, and initiations. Transmission illumination question: where and how am I being invited to ground my energy more? Similar to the meridians of the human body, the energy points along the watery portals of Earth hold powerful functions and frequencies, and you are always able to tap into these. If you are feeling blocked in some way, this card is calling you to slow down and reconnect with the nurturing pace of Mother Earth, to share your heart with its intelligent design and return to its fresh waters, to revitalize your cells, soothe your vessel, and replenish your body with the highest vibrations of source energy. This is an activation process. The guardians, earth spirits, and emissaries of these sacred waters are here to assist you. Visualize yourself wrapping in their sweet embrace when you feel disconnected from the natural world. This tender warmth collides and meets at your heart. Feel yourself as one with waters of the earth. So big. So big, Alexandra. Slow down. Slow, baby. Okay, guys, I need to jump off now. That went very, very, very quickly. Amber Lee, if you jump on next time, definitely come in and drop a yes, please. I will definitely pull you a message and card then. We do have my next in-person Intuitive Women's Circle scheduled, guys. So we are 25th of August, Friday, up in Hibiscus Coast. So come and join us for a beautiful, explosive, expansive evening at my Intuitive Women's Circle in person in Orewa. Otherwise, we've got the Vibe Tribe membership community coming up and going to launch. So if you want to hear more about that, give me a private message or pop the Vibe Tribe into the comments. Otherwise, I will pop my link in the comments as well for my personal private psychic readings as well, if you want to jump in on them. Otherwise, we will see you next time for some more intuitive messages and some beautiful kōrero. Otherwise, have a beautiful Saturday evening. Alexandra says, how beautiful. Yes, darling, just like you. Thank you for joining me today. Love yous all and have a beautiful Saturday. Give us a follow if you want to tune in again for intuitive space, kōrero, and psychic readings. I love yous all. Mwah, mwah, mwah.